Good afternoon and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council public hearing for Wednesday, December 14th, 2022, relative to Bill 2022-0817. Will the clerk please read the title of the bill?
Bill 817, Ordinance Amending the Pittsburgh Code, Title 9, Zoning, Article 1, Section 902.03, Zoning Map, by changing from LN, Local Neighborhood Commercial, to UI, Urban Industrial. Excuse me, 3 parcels in the Allegheny County Block and Lot System, 12th Ward.
Okay, is there anybody here from City Planning? All right, so our first order of business is introduction by representatives of the Department of City Planning.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Kunak, K-U-N-A-K, with the Department of City Planning. This is in reference to Zoning and Development Review Application DCP MPZC 2022-00702. It's a zone change petition to change the zoning from 3 parcels currently zoned LNC, Local Neighborhood Commercial, to UI, Urban Industrial. Those 3 parcels are 125-A-45, 125-A-50, and 125-A-52, generally bounded by Frankstown Avenue, East Liberty Boulevard, and Hamilton Avenue. Enactment of this rezoning will permit the involved property to be developed for uses permitted in the UI, Urban Industrial Zoning District. No application for development has been submitted to the Planning Department at this time. There are no requests to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Property owners within 150 feet of the proposed zone change were notified of this proposal for Planning Commission hearing and action, as well as this public hearing. Notices were also posted on site and on the Department of City Planning website. A development activities meeting was held on July 7th, 2022, virtually with the Larimer Consensus Group, the registered community organization. That report was included in the packet sent to Council. At the hearing and action meeting on September 20th, 2022, the Planning Commission of the City of Pittsburgh positively recommended this zone change petition to Council.
Question for you. Is that in your presentation?
Yes.
So I'm doing it from memory. I know the one piece of property. Is it the last 3 properties on that block, on the Hamilton Avenue block, or is it an empty space and then 3 properties beside it? Okay, so it's empty space.
We have a...
Okay,
They-
all right. And so thank you very much for your presentation. No other questions. We will now move to testimony from registered speakers. Please give your name and address for the public record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address Council.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin McKeegan. I'm with the law firm of Meyer, Unkovic, and Scott. We are local counsel for TWG Development, which is a development firm out of Indianapolis, which is the applicant here. I have a package of materials. There should be one there for each member of council, which I think will explain the necessity, but the reason for this requested zone change. So if you start with the first page of the package, there's a aerial view where the site is depicted in red. As Mr. Kunak indicated, it's bounded by Hamilton Avenue on the south, Frankstown on the north, and it's separated from East Liberty Boulevard or East Liberty Avenue by a sliver of vacant property that's owned by the URA. The site is roughly catty corner from the Kingsley Association Community Center. It's currently vacant. It was previously used by the current owner for storage of heavy equipment and materials for its operations. The total site area is 1.8 acres. We are requesting a zone change for 0.8 acres of the entire site. So if you go to the second page of the package, you'll see the property is outlined there in yellow. The properties, the lot and block numbers that are in brown are currently in the UI district. What's in the salmon or pink colors are the properties that are in the local neighborhood commercial zone. And as Mr. Kunak indicated, there are 3 lot and blocks involved in that area. And the next page of the slide is just a closer view of that condition. We then have a couple of pictures of current conditions in the neighborhood. You'll see that there are warehouses and other industrial type buildings running down Hamilton Avenue towards Fifth Avenue from the site. There is a small commercial project opposite the site on Frankstown Avenue, and then a variety of vacant lots and other buildings. If you go back to the first zoning map, and this is important to point out, the majority of properties around this site are already in the UI industrial zone. The LNC effectively is just kind of a peninsula that's sticking into this property. We're not quite sure why it was split zoned like this, but it's certainly not a planning condition that makes a lot of sense from any sort of rational perspective. We've included in the package a few other neighborhood photographs just to give you an idea that urban industrial is not out of keeping, or frankly is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. So why are we proposing this zone change? There is, if you look at the code, a substantial overlap in possible uses between the urban industrial and the local neighborhood commercial zone. However, the two zoning categories have some significant differences in terms of site development standards. For example, in the local neighborhood commercial, buildings are limited to 3 stories, not to exceed 45 feet, whereas in the UI they can go up to 60 feet, not to exceed 4 stories in height, with a special exception from the zoning board. These site development differences make it difficult to develop the property consistently. So we are asking for a consistent zoning across the property in order to enable TWG to develop a new 5-story apartment building. We've given you some preliminary sketches as to how that apartment building might lay out on the property. It would be 200 or so apartments with an integral garage and space on Frankstown Avenue for community and retail centers. We have been in contact with the Larimer Consensus Group. They have given us a letter of support, which is part of the project. We have various agreements in place with the Larimer Consensus Group in terms of affordable housing if the project moves forward, minority contractors, and hiring practices. So we would appreciate council's favorable review of this matter, and I'm going to ask Chase to say a few words about TWG.
Thank you, Kevin. Members of the council, thank you for having us here today. My name is Chase Smith. I am the Vice President of Market Rate Development for TWG Development, headquartered in Indianapolis, Indiana, at 1301 East Washington, 46205. TWG, we are a national multifamily housing developer, experienced in both affordable and market rate housing. As Kevin mentioned, this would be 220 market rate multifamily housing units, would be the second project we've done in Pittsburgh. My colleague Grant Deaton and I here, we were just at that project, finished up on Sydney Street on the south side just a few months ago, leasing up right now. Again, market rate housing with a component of set-aside units, just like this one would have. This product type, kind of this 5 to 6 story wood frame construction with an attached garage or other structured parking, is a very, very common product type for us. One we've done all over the country. We have projects under construction in Seattle, St. Louis, Portland, Indianapolis, really all over. We've developed 100 projects totaling over 11,500 housing units. Again, split roughly evenly between affordable and market rate housing. So as Kevin mentioned, we have engaged extensively with the Larimer Consensus Group on this project. Chase Patterson and his colleagues there. We've held our DAM meetings, received input from the community, which I think has been very favorable. We've incorporated some elements that they'd like to see into our proposed conceptual design, which you've seen there, including the retail along Frankstown Avenue across from the community center. We've also committed to certain other provisions, like allowing them to use our community room for neighborhood meetings, and actually collaborating with them on the interior design of that room with perhaps local art or other things that they may like to see. So we're very, very excited about this project. Again, we're already in, if not the neighborhood, the city at least. So we feel like we've kind of figured out some of the unique aspects of Pittsburgh, and we're very, very, very excited to go at it again here on this site. So with that, I'd open up to questions. Kevin?
No questions. Is there any other speakers? Are there any other speakers? See no other speakers. We will adjourn this meeting. This meeting is now adjourned.
Bye.